On the morning of November 6, 2012, commuters on 18th Avenue in Quezon City made a gruesome discovery. Lying in a roadside ditch was the body of a young woman. She was barefoot, wearing only a white top and blue leggings. Her eyes were wide open, locked in an expression of pure terror. She had been shot 5 times in the head. There was no ID, no purse, and no phone, but clutched in her hand was a single, strange item, a crumpled McDonald's paper bag. Near her body, investigators found a discarded receipt from the same restaurant. At the time, they had no idea that this tiny slip of thermal paper would become the smoking gun that would lead them to a story of professional jealousy, a fake kidnapping, and betrayal by a best friend that would take 12 years to fully unravel. The victim was 20-year-old Julie and Rodelas. In the vibrant competitive world of Manila modeling, Julie was a rising star. She wasn't chasing fame for the sake of vanity. She was a hotel and restaurant management student working to pay her way through university. She was a breadwinner for her mother and siblings in Las Piñas. Julie's career was gaining serious momentum. She had appeared on major networks like ABS-CBN and in prominent magazines like FHM Philippines. But as her star rose, someone else's was beginning to fade. Althea Altamirano was 3 years older than Julie and had been her close friend for years. They shared the same circles, the same dreams, and the same struggles. But Althea had a secret. She was a mother of 2. In the modeling industry of 2012, being a young, unattached model was the brand. Althea feared that if her secret got out, her career was over. When rumors about Althea's children began to circulate, Althea didn't look at the industry or the gossips. She looked at Julianne. She became convinced her best friend had leaked the secret to sabotage her. Quiet jealousy turned into a toxic, burning resentment. Julianne was no longer a friend. She was a rival that needed to be taught a lesson. On the evening of November 5th, Althea reached out to Julianne with a peace offering. She claimed she had a lead on a massive modeling client and invited Julie to meet them. It was a gesture of reconciliation that Julie, ever professional, couldn't turn down. The 2 friends met at the SM Mall of Asia. They watched a movie, they laughed, and they strolled through the complex. To anyone watching, they were just 2 young women enjoying a night out. At 10:30 p.m., as they walked along a dark stretch of Diosdado Macapagal Boulevard, a black SUV suddenly screeched to a halt. 2 men jumped out, grabbed Julianne, and forced her into the vehicle. It happened in seconds. Julie's shoes and handbag were left scattered on the pavement. The most chilling part? Althea stood right there. She didn't scream. She didn't fight. She stayed on the sidewalk, clutching Julie's belongings, and waited for police to arrive so she could give them a carefully rehearsed, distraught witness statement. She told officers she had no idea who the attackers were. She was a victim, too, or so she wanted them to believe. Julianne wasn't taken to a random location. She was driven to the Salam compound in Quezon City, a dense residential hideout. The kidnapping had been orchestrated by Althea's boyfriend, a 32-year-old tattoo shop owner named Jared, real name Fernando Quimbo Jr. The original plan, according to later testimony, was only to intimidate Julie. But when you involve men with aggressive histories and illegal firearms, plans change. The situation escalated into a nightmare. Julie was subjected to physical assault and aggressive harassment by multiple men. Then, a man named Aldous arrived. He wasn't part of the original crew. He was armed, unpredictable, and dangerous. He made it clear that he had no intention of letting Julianne leave that house alive. While Julie was being held, Jared, the mastermind, decided he was hungry. He drove to McDonald's on United Nations Avenue and ordered 2 cheeseburger meals. He brought one back to Julie. In her weakened state, she whispered that she would eat it later when she got home. She still believed she was going to survive. But then, a fatal mistake occurred. One of the men accidentally called Jared by his real name, Fernando. Julie heard it. Jared saw the look in her eyes. He knew that if she lived, she could identify him. He turned to the others and gave the final, cold order. She needs to be dealt with. At 5 a.m. on November 6th, the black SUV pulled up to 18th Avenue. They pushed Julie out of the car and fired the final shots. They thought they had committed the perfect crime, but they forgot about the McDonald's receipt. Detectives established a timeline using the receipt found near Julie's body. They went to the McDonald's on Avenue and pulled the surveillance footage. There, at 2:03 a.m., was Jared, face clearly visible, tattoos on display, ordering the very food that ended up at the crime scene. Witnesses had also caught a partial license plate of a black Mitsubishi Montero. Police traced it to Jared's mother. On November 10th, police followed Jared's father to a remote village in Pampanga. There, hiding in a traditional Filipino hut, they found Jared and Althea. The grieving friend and the ideal boyfriend were taken into custody. A subsequent raid on the Salam compound led to a shootout where one accomplice was killed and others were captured. The lesson Althea wanted to teach had ended in a bloodbath. The legal battle for Julie and Rodella's would drag on for over a decade. It wasn't until September 2024 that the final verdicts were handed down. Jared Fernando Quimbo Jr. was found guilty of kidnapping and complicity in the murder. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, 22 to 40 years. Althea Altamirano faced a different fate. While the court acknowledged she lured Julie to her death, they ruled there was insufficient evidence to prove she knew the kidnapping would turn into a murder. She was convicted only of conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Because Althea had already spent 12 years in detention awaiting trial, the court ruled her sentence fully served. On the same day her boyfriend was sent away for life, Althea was ordered to be released. The Rodella's family was devastated. To them, Althea wasn't a secondary player. She was the spark that lit the fire. She was the one who turned a friendship into a death trap. Her mother, Luz, has vowed to appeal to Supreme Court, stating that Althea's release is an insult to Julie's memory. Julie and Rodella's story is a haunting reminder that sometimes the person standing right next to you, the one smiling your photos, is the one holding the key to your destruction. Was the court right to release Althea based on time served, or was her role in betrayal worth a life sentence? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We post new crime cases